Hey folks, Jared Lumen here. I thought I would walk through an example of why cows and livestock on cropland can be a good deal. We'll see if this works out in reality, but I was doing some math here on this field, right, that I'm sitting on right now. It's 30 acres. It's a very productive cropland field. It's, a long square or rectangular field that easy to plant end to end, really just good field. And we've had it in pasture in the past, and right now it's kind of in a crop rotation. It's currently seeded to rye. Last year it was in soybeans, and this year it's going into corn. And the plan is to no-till the corn into this standing rye. This rye was planted right after the cornstalks, or right after the soybean harvest last year. And so it was just planted last fall, grows this spring, and we just turned cows out on it a few days ago. We've been calving for a couple weeks, and so we've been turning pairs out here as they go. There's about 80 pairs in this field at the moment. This girl is liking to stand posing right here for everybody. There's about 80 pairs in this field. It's 30 acres, and I'm guessing we'll get around 10 days out of it. We've got a lot more rye that we'll get onto later that'll have even more production per acre. This stuff we started on early, so they're grazing earlier. But on this 30 acres, I'm guessing we'll get roughly 10 days for these 80 pairs. 30 acres, 80 pairs, 10 days. All depends on what you value your feed for, but roughly let's call it $2 per day. If you value feeding hay, whatever, it's $2 per day. And right now, pasture is not ready, so that's not an alternative. So there's this or there's hay. So if we're getting 80 pairs for 10 days, that's 800 cow days times $2 per day is $1,600. $1,600 divided by 30 acres works out to about $53 per acre. So we're getting that $53 per acre in additional revenue, you could call it, kind of opportunity value, feed value off of this field. And then after corn stalks, we will graze, or after corn harvest, we'll graze corn stalks on this as well. Same field, 30 acres, corn stalks, we'll graze it with these cows in the fall. Historically, we've gotten around 50 or 60 cow days per acre. And that totals $100, $120 per acre if you attribute that same $2 per cow day value. So in total, between the spring grazing and the fall grazing, we're getting somewhere around $160 or more per acre in feed value in addition to the grain harvest. And folks always are concerned with grazing livestock on this. There is a concern. It's a little wet out now. There's going to be a little maybe animal impact on this, although I'm thinking the roots in this rye will help a lot with that. But we have an additional 160, call it, dollars per acre in revenue, feed value, harvested off this acre in addition to the crop. And at $4 a bushel corn, that means we can lose 40 bushels and still be net even on the same acre of land. Not to mention, the nutrient cycling and the value that we're getting from this rye and this livestock integration. So I'm excited about that. We're also doing a bunch of other, integrations of livestock on cropland. That field over there, as well as that field right there, have been seeded down to cool season annual grasses that will be grazed for a year and then rotated into a crop. We've got other fields that are going to be warm season annuals. So we have different ways we're incorporating livestock onto this cropland with the hopes of building soil, building nutrients in the soil, and so we can potentially reduce nutrient inputs in future years and increase up the production potentially off these acres. And we're getting value out of the grazing as well, because if you're following the cattle markets, that's one of the best industries to be in right now as far as a commodity business. Most businesses are crop prices are not excessively high or anything like that, but cow calf and selling weaned calves is a decent time. So by being able to incorporate the livestock on the land, we're getting a ton of benefits. And I just thought this was a unique example with this field, this 30 acres, that we're gonna get potentially $160 of value off of it in addition to the grain crop. And if we don't lose much grain production at all, you know, that's straight to the bottom line. That's net value. So pretty exciting. There's really not much cost in this, maybe a little bit of labor for rolling out fence, but that was going to be something that was going to be done with these cows anyway. So it's same deal.